Blood doesn't make you family. The Blind Side is a film that heavily depicts the story of Michael Orr, who was an African American boy from a broken home with no father figure and a mother who is a drug addict. Orr is taken from the Tuohys by the Tuohys, a well-to-do white family who take him in to live with them temporarily at first, but as time goes on, Orr develops a special bond with them, which results in a permanent stay in the household. This proves that although Orr was not related to them by blood or the true definition of family, his actions helped him become integrated into the Tuohys and become recognized throughout the household as a member of the family. Family and love extends beyond any legal or formal definition, becoming a concept of institution that is what one makes of it. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of family is a group consisting of two parents and their children living together as a unit. Unfortunately, in today's society, we are surrounded by only one image of what a family is. Whether it is in movies, novels, or online, we have developed a tunnel vision that makes us believe a family can only be characterized as a husband, wife, and their children. It doesn't come as a surprise to me that kids from a young age are brainwashed and taught that if they don't follow the typical family image, that they wouldn't be considered normal. Brian Powell writes, I googled family and looked at its pictorial representation. The images presented a group of close knit and happy people, but if one looks closer at these pictures, one will notice that these groups are almost always made up of what appear to be a father, a mother, and their children, most often two children, an older boy and his younger sister. These pictures typify what Canadian sociologist Dorothy Smith coined as a standard North American family, which strongly privileges heterosexual marriage households and, in particular, those that include children and those in which women and men assume traditional gender roles. Media has created a social norm of what a family should look like, when in reality there are many different ways families are formed. Many times people can't see something other than the social norm of a family to also be considered one because they never experienced anything or were only raised to believe one way. Brian Pohl writes, Exclusionists also discuss children as important to the definition of family, but often frame their importance in terms of blood ties. For example, they're all blood related, tied by blood. One is related by blood, marriage of blood relation, and because you have blood to be a family. If the children carry the blood. To the extent that blood ties make a family, then for this group, non-biological children, example, adoptive children and foster children, are lesser than biological children. Powell 20. I feel like it is ignorant for people to only believe there is one correct way to form a family because of how much society has changed, and if they just open their eyes, they could see the many different forms of it. I believe that family has a much deeper meaning than simply a mother and father with kids. Being a family with someone does not necessarily mean you have to be blood related to them or even married to them. I feel like the most important thing you need in order to call someone family is you must have a deep connection with them, respect them, and love them. Many friendships I've made over the years, I now consider them as my family because they fit into that criteria. I also have many cousins and aunts and uncles that I'm not very close with that would be labeled as family, but I don't have the same connection with them as I do with my friends. That's why I strongly believe that family isn't isolated to only one criteria but has different meanings. I've also played on a team that I consider to be my family. The University of Akron men's soccer team are people I've spent countless hours together with while forming relationships that will last a lifetime. So of course I see them as family to me. Blood doesn't make you family. The relationship you have with the person makes you family. Being related to someone by blood creates a bond with that person, but whether that bond is strong or weak determines if you consider them family. There's been many cases where parents get divorced, so the kid's relationship with either the mother or father drastically change. Melissa Holtzman writes, both cases involved unmarried couples who were living in marriage-like relationships while only rearing a child. Both cases involved non-biological parents who willingly assumed parental responsibilities for a child to whom they were not genetically related to. Both involved non-biological parents who by all accounts established close and loving relationships with the children. Holtzman 3. Holtzman's case further backs up my claim that blood doesn't make you family because as long as the parents filled in the proper role as mother or father to the kids that were not even related by blood, it still gives a strong sense of family throughout the household. This goes back to my point that it is most important to fit in the characteristics of what a family is rather than just being tied by blood. A movie that strongly displays the claim is Fast and Furious. A group of six people who are all of different genders and races form such a tight bond that they make the same sacrifices someone would for a blood related family member. Many times, if people are unable to have kids, they look towards adoption as an option to satisfy their needs. So, if you were to take on the perspective of only blood can make you family, then that means kids would never be able to experience a family or call them family. Same sex marriage has also become a huge controversial topic in recent years. Religion has a huge influence on the opinions of same sex marriage. Laura R. Olson writes religion, as measured by both religious affiliations and religiosity, has a powerful effect on public opinion about same sex marriage and related issues in the United States. In particular, non Protestants are more likely to support same sex unions, and individuals with conservative attitudes or or morality and secularism, and to a lesser extent, those who participate actively in religious life are more likely to oppose such unions. Olson 30. I feel like since society is moving forward, we must learn to progress and become more open to such things. Brian Powell writes, the previously quoted women's comments, along with the comments of others, gave me great confidence in predicting that America's views on family and, by extension, same-sex marriage would become more expansive fairly quickly. What I did not predict, however, is how quick these changes would be. In 2003, nearly three-fifths of Americans we interviewed opposed same-sex marriage, but by 2010, more Americans were in favor of same-sex marriage than opposed. The patterns we found have been confirmed in nearly every reputable national survey on the topic. Powell 30. People have made steps forward towards accepting something they aren't used to, which is important. Same-sex marriage has been frowned upon for many years, but I feel like too many people are raised in a wrong manner and therefore aren't open to new things. Being related by blood doesn't make someone family. If someone cares for you, loves you, and respects you, then they would be considered family. Family sometimes gets tossed around too much and doesn't hold the same value as it used to, so you must be careful who you label as family. Family and love extends beyond any legal or formal definition, becoming a concept and institution that is what one makes of it.